Good evening, everybody. It is Thursday, and this is the Mary Moo Show.
Basically, my father was investing in property. I left school with one GCSE, so I failed terribly badly. And as we would do these jobs, sometimes we would go to these very extravagant and posh houses, and I would ask people, what do you do for a living? I made more money flipping a property and not spending that much time on it than I did working all year, killing myself 6 days a week. People will share their knowledge with you quite freely if you would but ask. They make it sound like it's so easy and you don't have to put any effort in, and then next you know you're a millionaire. That really isn't the case. Anything you want, especially to start off with, is hard work. There's so much information out there, and definitely do that before you even think about doing a course, in my opinion. But with anything, there is always a way.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Mary Moo Show, and I am she. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you're feeling good wherever you are, guys. I have been feeling so good this last couple of days. The sun has been shining, and I am a total summer baby. I love the sun. I love it. Give me some more of it. I've been in the gym, guys, working out like 5%, but in the outdoor pool. My gym has an outdoor pool, so I've been out there really getting this work-life balance in and relaxing and just taking advantage of this great weather. And I wonder whatever you're doing as well, I hope you're feeling good wherever you are, whether you're coming home from work, you're on that long drive, or you've just got in, or you've been working from home and you've just switched onto this, or you're about to eat, or you had your dinner, whatever it is. I hope you're feeling good wherever you are. Let me tell you something. We've got a really good show for you today. We've got a great lineup of music, some new ones and some golden oldies, and some I've selected from the Big Church Day Festival that's happening so soon. So I'm going to be playing some of that, so you can get a vibe and taste of what's to come. So for those of you who are going, you can start getting excited already. It feels like summer, guys. Let's kick things off with Rachel Jane and Made for Something. And then we will be listening to Ryan Hilton with Good God, because he totally is. And then we'll end with Cortez On My Way. So let's kick things off with Rachel Jane. Go, girl. This is Made for Something.
I wanna know when you're gonna get us through everything that's been keeping us down, telling us that we won't get out. I wanna see from a different point of view so that we can be happy and free instead of living so cautiously. I'm so done with feeling like we'll never have one. Ooh, I'm here waiting for the saving grace to just come. Ooh, we're made for something, but why we gotta wait? We're done with nothing, so come on and make a way. I get it frustrated, I'm far from related, but we're made for something. Hey, I wanna know if there's gonna be a change, for a change that will pull me down. Tired of this dried up ground. Raring to go, but never knowing when you'll leave. Feels like persecution for my soul. Standing by a door that just stays closed. I'm so done with feeling like we'll never have one. Ooh, I'm here waiting for the saving grace to just come. Ooh, we gotta wait. We're done with nothing. So come on and make a way. I'm so frustrated. I'm not elated, but we made for something.
I've been there before, when I fell so hard to the floor. All these walls are caving in, desires are just craving sin. I don't know what I needed then, but I know right now I'm fleeing this to resist your lie. I'm leaving this on the altar now. I'm pleading this. I don't know what I needed then, but I know right now I'm fleeing this to resist your lie. I'm leaving this on the altar now. I'm pleading this. Oh yeah, you never turn your face from me. Never turn, no, never turn, no, no. You never turn your grace from me. Never turn, no, never turn, no, no. I don't know how I gained your love when the world said no, not good enough. With your arms wide open, big enough to embrace my past. I'm worth enough. You just keep fighting for me. Oh yeah, you're a good, good God. You just keep fighting for me. Oh yeah, you're a good, good God. You call my past redeemed. Was blind but now I see. You just keep fighting for me. Oh yeah, yeah, you're a good, good God. Yeah, yeah. Look, wait, oh my gosh, don't you know that he the boss? He took the weight off the world and laid it down on the cross. All cause we was lost, was the price, he paid the cost. Born again, Pentecost, don't turn it back at any cost. I don't know what I needed then, but I know right now I'm fleeing this to resist your lie. I'm leaving this on the altar now. I'm pleading this. You just keep fighting for me. Oh yeah, you're a good, good God. You just keep fighting for me. Oh yeah, you're a good, good God. You call my past redeemed. Was blind but now I see. You just keep fighting for me. Oh yeah, yeah, you're a good, good God. Good, good God. Oh yeah, you're a good, good God.
Yeah, you changed my life. Bright lights still blinded. Everything around here has changed. I see clearly now, I see clearly. So just take your time, I'll trust your timing. Don't let me forget your grace. Cause you freed me now, yeah, you freed me. It seems like every other day there's another conversation. Every other day, see your glory in creation. Gone so far away, and I pray for reformation. See, this life was a mess, but you handled my debt. Now the chief end of men, see your kingdom advance. Hell is not even a threat. Anything after that, I'm believing. Cause I'm on my way now. And God, I know that you remain the same, but everything is changing around here now. I'm on my way now. Trusted the fan in the flame. Your way, yeah. Nah, nah, nah.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the Mary Moo Show. My name's Mary Moo, and I'm here every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. And I hope you're loving it and marked it in your calendars, because I love being here, and I hope you love it too. We've been listening to some good music. That was Rachel Jane with Made for Something, and then we listened to Ryan Hilton with Good God, and then Cortez with My Way. And that's a new one, by the way. He's only just dropped that. So for you, those of you who are into this new stuff, that's brand new, brand spanking new. We love it. Okay, so Ryan Hilton and Rachel Jane are going to be at the Big Church Day Out Festival. And I don't think it's called the Big Church Day Out Festival. I think it's just called the Big Church Festival. And it is UK's biggest Christian event, actually. It's massive. And that's taking place the 27th, 28th of May, this weekend. And the lineup, guys, looks serious. Do you know what? I think it's good because it's got something for everyone. So if you're going to be there, you're going to have a really good time. I'm not jealous. I'm not. You pray for me. Anyway, it looks like it's just going to be really, really good. It's got a good lineup of artists. And ones I really love, because they've got some oldies, like, and I'm not calling them old. I'm just saying LZ7. Come on. They've been around for ages. They've got LZ7. We've got United. We've got Bethel Music, Is on a New Breed. We've got St. Louis. We've got some really good poets as well. We've got Poetess Jess. We have, like I said, Ryan Hilton. We've got Rachel Dane, like I said. We have Joshua Luke. We've got Rebecca St. James. Everybody, guys. We've got Leland. Do you remember Leland? Oh, I remember Leland with their albums, their first couple of albums. My sister gave them to me, and I loved them. I played them on repeat. And most people would actually know Leland from their main sort of church song. He's coming on the clouds. King and kingdoms will bow down. The Lion and the Lamb. You know it. Well, actually, Leland, he's got a band, guys. Actually, his wife's in his new sort of band lineup, but he's been making music from forever, and I'm so excited that they're going to be on this stage, because it's going to be really, really, really good. So get down there, and if you're already there, like I said, you're going to have a really good time. West Sussex is going to hear some great tunes. Okay, so what is the premise of the show today? It's all about acquiring stuff, and then let me tell you why. Because obviously we're not meant to set our eyes and our sights on things above, and God doesn't want us to be just sort of money hungry, and because we remember the love of money is the root of all evil. God is not really into us loving all these things, but he's very much into us acquiring stuff, land and property and things like that. So much so that there's one scripture that I've always sort of kept in the back of my mind, and that's the one from Jeremiah 29 verse 5. And God's telling them, obviously, they're in exile in Babylon, and it's almost like they just think, let's just remain till whenever we leave. Let's just sort of stay here and let's not do anything. Because like, no, whoa. Guys, build houses, settle down, plant gardens and eat their produce. Take wives and have sons and daughters. Take wives for your son and give your daughters in marriage so that they too may have sons and daughters. He's basically saying, guys, do stuff, acquire stuff. And for me, I've always grown up around people like aunties and uncles whoever is telling me that they were retiring in Spain, that they're leaving, guys, they're leaving the United Kingdom, they're leaving and they're going to retire in Spain, or they're going to go to the Caribbean, or they're going back home. They're going back home, guys. This is not their home. They're going to settle somewhere nice and tropical. And it makes you feel like actually everything's just passing through. Like, what's the point? But there really is point to kind of, plant your seeds in something, invest, do something. And like I said, if you come to Ruach, especially up in Birmingham up here, there is a big sort of push about property and stuff like that. It's like a grace that's out, guys. So let's go out and do it. And for those of you who are like, yeah, I want to go out and do it, but I don't know what to do and why. And some of you just don't even know why and how. It's okay. I've got you. My guest that I'm going to have on, he's great. He knows what to do. And let me tell you something. He's not just somebody who I've just known about, like, or just read their book, or just someone told me about. I've known this person. You actually know someone that's actually made it. And it's good to hear from them the real steps to and the process and what's involved, especially when my guest left school with one GCSE. Yes, one GCSE. Anyway, I'll stop waffling so he can just take over. But let's listen to some music first, and we'll be right back and we'll go straight to the interview. So we'll crack up crack on with Stephen Malcolm with Glory on Me. And then we go to Duke Owl. He's got great type Lonely. He's going to be at the great festival thingy. And then Becca Folks, Essex Girl, this fire track Rhythm. And again, he's going to be that. And then we'll be right back for the interview. This is Stephen Malcolm with Glory on Me.
Now I feel the glory on me. I can't tame the sound, got his story on me, yeah. Put no worries on me. I can't take no else, cause I know you for me, yeah. Now I feel the glory on me. I can't tame the sound, got his story on me, yeah. I ain't got no worries on me. I can't take no else, cause I know he for me, yeah. Search for it, gotta work for it again. Always reminding that you're fighting for me, yeah. Now I feel the glory on me. The glory, the glory. Glory, glory. Yeah, the glory, the glory. Glory, glory. Glory.
2009 in the dark, chasing. All I had up in my heart was basic. I had to pick me apart, was jaded. Got me creating this art, proclaiming. Ay, word all on me and I know you feel it. I turn up, quit playing. Word all on me and I know. Hey, by the time I give him the sequel, I've been in quarantine with my people. Shout out to 2020, reminding me to keep it about the people. My people dying away, and they need that hope. Back in the studio, mixing that dope. Don't cut it or mix it, I'm pure with that flow. He told me shot, so I stay with that glow. He took me from dirt and he planted a seed and he gave me the key. Now my seed on the way, about to break every curse in my family tree. Got to the brush and he painted the dream. He showed me the things that I needed to see. Show me the ups, he showed me the downs. He said through it all, I'm still gone.
Now I feel the glory on me. I can tame the sound, got his story on me, yeah. I ain't got no worries on me. I can't take no else, cause I know he for me, yeah. Search for it, gotta work for it again. Always reminded that you're fighting for me, yeah. Now I feel the glory on me. The glory, the glory.
Yeah. Granny up there pulling a string or two. Grabbing the wheel, that's God's passenger. So much life happened, hey, look how I'm rapping. Life's a movie called My Blessings. My darkest days been life lessons. Place peace in my heart when I'm stressing. I ain't no preacher, a deacon, a reverend, but it's testimony from all of the testing. Being present with the demons present. Appreciate any little piece of heaven. And any deals got God's leverage. Taste and see, it's the best beverage. A bottom dweller, but a top turner. Hey, I feel love doing you a service. May not look the part, but I'm God serving. God's trap, and here wrist working, wrist working.
Now I feel the glory on me. I can tame the sound, got his story on me, yeah. I ain't got no worries on me. I can't take no else, cause I know he for me, yeah. Search for it, gotta work for it again. Always reminded that you're fighting for me, yeah. Now I feel the glory on me. The glory, the glory.
I'm lonely, I need you to hold me tight, see through my phony life I drew. I only cry inside, I'm too ashamed of the pain from the mind games. Yeah, I move, I play, yet there's no getting away. I lose every frame, stook at the shames, a bruise to my brain. Everything is black and tamed attacks, migraine relapse, insane collapsed. He hits like Bonnie with cue balls, breaking a few jaws, snap, snap, blue chalk. Friction between us, forming an addiction, a dart to you as I thought of my prescription. I tried to swerve him, I do a 180, I'm trapped, I turn in. He shoots, he hates me, it's like Van Gogh. Impeccable aim, bullseye determined to level up pain. A technical strain, I'm mentally tamed. I've had enough, I can't tell anybody but you're my love corkscrew. I'm lonely, I need you to hold me tight, see through my phony life I drew. I only cry inside, I'm too. Afraid if I tell my peers, they'll think I'm weird. A clear construct of a monster. So I just bottle it up, keep on refilling my favorite cup. Problem, mathematical equations in my mind, unpredictable persuasions that he finds, unbreakable invasions, dangerous thoughts leave all full abrasions, forceful irrational actions, hate them, absorbing my time. He's an alien core extraction of the good thoughts that I long for. Anchor slipping from my mind, my soul. He's gripping, I'm losing entire control. Faster than a Concorde, things I wanna conquer take me far longer. He swings at me harder than Happy Gilmore whacking some golf balls. He is the monster thrashing my conscience. I am engulfed in his tiresome problems. Call for as he drives me bonkers. I'm dizzy heads, physiological meanings hang around with me. Psychological demons, so hissy make me worry. You giving all the care in the world attitude. You're the fuel that fights this feud. Unlock corkscrew.
I'm lonely, I need you to hold me tight. See through my phony life I drew. I only cry inside.
I was doing so well, no more second guessing. I fell in a well, hit the floor of regression. I wish I'd rise up. I lack the aggression, intangible thoughts, they attach my obsessions. I know it's selectable, whether I let them go or keep collectible. Store in my head, it's full. He's uncontrollable, hatched irreparable. We are inseparable, trapped, no one there to call. I'm forever running on eggshells. I turn to you when my head swells. He keeps on ringing like lead bells. I'm going mad, poison the red cells. Give me a drink, neck everything. I really don't even care what he thinks. I'm snapping the link, fight me, I'm king. In this tug of war that we're in. Nobody will die if I don't comply. All he does is lie, imply that I'm a terrible guy. Victimized when he tries doing me over. This ain't American Pie. But I mix him a drink, I'm sipping whiskey and wine. Think about my fake life, will it be the day I die? I don't know, he's a nightmare though. Scarecrow, craving the wheel of my mind ain't fair, no. Just cause he got no brains in there, no. Doesn't mean we can share, yo. He's a rare soul, thinks he's the pharaoh. Well, I'm like Moses, no slave, I prepare flow. Make waves on headphones, used to be drowned by the sound of his voices, noises. Now it's gonna drown in the sound of my music, I win. Any pain is relief to the torture he brings. Who was he, OCD, now I binge. Give me a hinge, I'm numb when I'm drunk, I can't feel anything.
Help me find my rhythm, my rhythm, my rhythm. Help me find my rhythm, my rhythm, my rhythm. Voyaging by day and by night, searching aimlessly. Feels like I'm losing my mind. What could this be? And when the life you live doesn't match what you know. Am I reaping everything that I've sown? Oh God, please help me find my rhythm, my rhythm, my rhythm. Help me find my rhythm, my rhythm, my rhythm. Voyaging for hours on end. When will it be enough? Is it really me whom he sent? My strength is faded. Oh, when the life you live doesn't match what you know. Am I reaping everything that I've sown? Hey, 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 hey. Help me find my rhythm, my rhythm, my rhythm. Help me find my rhythm, my rhythm. Please help me find my rhythm. Help me find my rhythm. Help me find it. My rhythm, my rhythm. Help me find my rhythm. Help me find my rhythm, my rhythm. One day at a time, I will figure out this rhyme. Ain't no need to frown, cause I know he's shining down. When I cannot do it, his grace will lead me home. Don't always get it right, that's why I sing this song. Help me find my rhythm, Lord. Help me find my rhythm, Lord. Help me find my rhythm. Hey, hey, hey. Help me find my rhythm, my rhythm. Help me find it, my rhythm. Help me find my rhythm. Help me find my rhythm.
everybody, we are now at the point of the show where we get to have a chat with someone to give us some advice, and it's all about housing and investments and things like that. Like I said in the beginning of the show, it is very important for us to share knowledge and learn, because buying houses, whether for ourselves or for our generations to come and invest in, is something that, even when you look at things biblically, is exactly what God wants us to be doing. It has never changed from the beginning of time, acquiring things, places for us to live in, for ourselves and for our family. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I am here discussing with somebody who I'm going to introduce in a moment, who knows a thing or two about property. And I love his story because he didn't start the way you would think he would start. And so I'm going to let him talk all about that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please welcome to the Mary Moo Show, Rory. Rory Palmer, how are you?
Mary, I'm very, very well. Thank you for having me, and it is a pleasure to be here.
Fantastic. It's a pleasure to have you here with us. And I would like to tell everybody, you know, I didn't just find Rory somewhere. We actually go way back, because my brother is friends with Rory and has known him like almost all our lives. Isn't that so, Rory?
This is very true. Yes, Marshall was my first ever best friend at 4 years old, I believe it was, and we are still as thick as thieves today. And he's just one of the most loveliest people I've ever met, and I feel very privileged to know him.
Ah, we love it, we love it, we love it. Yes. And so, everyone, as I was saying, Rory does have a career actually within property, but it's more than just something like it's his career. He does have a desire and passion to actually share knowledge and help people, which I was talking about earlier. That is very important. So Rory, can you please let us know, how did you get into property? What's your background? How did it all start for you?
So I actually got involved in property as my father was buying property, and he ran a removals company in Feltham. Yeah. And I was working for my father as I left school with 1 GCSE, so I did very, very badly. And I was working as a removals man, lifting boxes all day long for not very much money. And as we would do these jobs, sometimes we would go to these very extravagant and posh houses, and I would ask people, what do you do for a living? And there was a very common theme that most of these people, or a lot of these people, were making money in property or storing their money in property. So the light bulb moment was going off quite frequently, and I said to my father, you know, I really want to get into property. I want to buy something with you. I didn't have enough money to buy property on my own, so I did a joint venture with my father for my first deal, and we actually bought a property at auction. We did that property up. Had to deal with builders for the first time at 18, and I was in charge of it all, which was a challenging experience, but one where I learnt a lot. But on that first deal, I made more money flipping a property and not spending that much time on it than I did working all year, killing myself 6 days a week, pumping furniture around for my father's company. So I felt very inspired then to get further into the property world and learn as much as I could about it. And that's exactly what I did.
I love that story. And Rory, I'm not sure if you're aware, on YouTube and even on TikTok, actually, there are people who are famous for doing that, which is asking people who live in these affluent homes, what do you do for a living? And I've watched a couple of them, and you are right. One of the sort of top 5, I would say, is always property. So back then, when you were 18, that desire to learn and want to know was a thing. You were really onto something then. I don't know. You were really, really onto something. But I like what you said.
Yeah, it was definitely a thing.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, asking. It's good, actually. To be fair, how else are you going to know? Especially if that's not your life. I like that interest to ask. What exactly do you do that you can afford these homes and you can afford this lifestyle? Is good to know and to find out. And you never know. Here you are.
Definitely. I think, definitely sometimes it's hard to ask people, what do you do? How do you do it? But you'll be surprised. As long as you're nice to people and you're grateful, people will share their knowledge with you quite freely if you would but ask.
Ooh, I like that. If you would but ask. And one thing I do like, you said you basically had a joint venture with your father. But I like that because he was passing something on to you that no doubt you can share to your generation to come and obviously other people. But I like that, you know, you went to him and said, right, I want to do this. I want to get in. And he shared that knowledge, walked you through that process, let you take the reins, like you said, with the whole remodeling of the property. And now here you are. So that's essentially why we've got you on the show, because we want to know how to, and hopefully you're going to drop some knowledge for us. But some people may say, because some people have said, okay, that was back then. Now, 2023, we've just come through a pandemic, all these things that have never happened in people's lifetime before, unprecedented events. The Mayor of London's come out to say that the average price in the UK of property is 850,000. The expected salary of somebody living in London is 80,000. The cost of living is going up. So people are saying, so how is it possible to get into property? How are you going to do it? How?
Well, yes, and all the very, very good points as well, because it is crazy, you know, the prices in London, especially reflective to what people are earning. You know, lots of, you know, sometimes it's majority of their money is going on rent or mortgage, and I really do sympathise because that's not easy. But with anything, there is always a way. You know, perhaps you have to move a little bit further out. Perhaps you have to joint venture like I had to with someone else. I did it with my father. It could be a friend, you know, another family member, someone else who, you know, has money. You could borrow money from people and pay them a return if you're just looking for investment purposes.
Yeah.
So there is always a way. It's just sort of thinking about it and thinking, how do I make this happen? And as you ask that question over and over again, answers start coming to you.
Yeah, and I totally believe that, Roy, because you obviously don't know this because you don't live in Birmingham, you don't go to Ruach where we are at, but a lot has come out through like the church that I go to about property and this need to go out, and it's like almost like a release, like go ahead and do it. Like now is the right time, because it might not seem like the right time, but now is the time to really try and acquire. So we were like sort of how do I put it, commissioned, go out there and try and find to do these things. But then that leads to the question, because people are honestly going to go out there trying to look for, okay, what advice can I take now? How can I take what I've heard like in the church space or something like that about property and then go out to try and do it? And then they end up falling for, I'm going to say falling for, but signing up to these seminars and workshops that are free when you step in, or just £1 to learn all about property, and they're promised all this stuff, but then to actually do it, the materials that they'll need, all the follow-on stuff, up the upsell is like thousands and thousands of pounds, and they're promising people that, oh, with nothing you can make money, but buy my course and buy my £20,000 this. Do you know about all these things, and what do you have to say about all of this?
Yes, I have heard of some of these. I've been to different things myself as well to see with my own eyes. And to be honest with you, a lot of them I don't like the high pressure sales. I don't like the way they make it sound like it's so easy and you don't have to put any effort in. And then next you know, you're a millionaire. That really isn't the case. You know, anything you want, especially to start off with, is hard work. You need to hustle. You need to push. And they sort of sugarcoat over that a little bit. There are some seminars that are good, I'm sure teach great stuff, but all the information is out there for free. You know, we've got fantastic podcasts, YouTube channels. You can buy, you know, low cost stuff like books, and just going to property networking events. You know, it could cost you about £20 to go to a networking event, and you'll be around other great minds that are all interested in property. And I would say definitely starting off with, that's the way to go, especially if you don't have much money to start with. It might change if you're a multi-millionaire and you can afford, you know, there's some of these crazy fees that some of the companies charge and you just want to fast track yourself, then maybe that's different. But if you haven't got much money to start, educate yourself for free. There's so much information out there, and definitely do that before you even think about doing a course, in my opinion. You don't have to. You can do it all without that. I haven't done courses and I've done very well.
I like that. And talking about something that you have done though is you have written a book.
I have indeed, yes.
Tell us all about this book, Rory. Tell us all about it.
So the book is called Financial Freedom Through Property, and it's basically a very easy read. You can read it within 90 minutes, so you don't have to be an avid reader to read this book. And I've sort of taken out all the fluff, and I'm educating people through the things I've done well and also the things I haven't done well, because both can be learned from, the good and the bad. And just giving all points and tips to anyone that wants to get started, and just to try to simplify it down as much as possible and really give some really great nuggets of information that I've learned over the last 20 years of being involved in property.
And what's it called, and where can our listeners, because I'm sure some of them, because they ask me the amount of calls I get, because I shared this on a previous show how obviously I love property as well, and some of the mistakes I've made, and I've been inundated with calls and things like that. But guys, I haven't written a book. I've written a children's book, but not a book on obviously property and stuff. But Rory has, and please tell them, where can they purchase this book from? And what's the name of the book again? And your name again, one more time.
You can purchase it from Amazon, and the book is Financial Freedom Through Property, and my full name is Rory Palmer.
Fantastic. And for those who are listening on YouTube, there will definitely be a link but in the description, and we'll put it there. You can click and get the book. But Rory, can you share with us something from the book that could probably entice you to purchase it, but something that's in there that you're willing to give to us, the listeners of the Mary Moo Show, something you're ready to share with us for free, please?
There is many, many things that are springing into my mind here, and it's very, very hard to pick one, but I would recommend people use leverage. Leverage is a very, very powerful tool when it comes to property. You don't have to buy a property for cash outright. Use the bank's money and use leverage in your favour with good debt, and there is a big difference between good and bad debt. So that is a big one, but also belief in yourself and having the confidence and courage to go for it, because if you don't have that, you'll just never get started. And there is a section in the book about mindset, as that is actually just as important as the strategies themselves.
Oh, I really love that. I love that. This book seems really good. But I want to push on the book a bit and just ask a couple of questions, actually, because something's just come to mind. Within property, obviously, there's different ways you can get into property. Like you said, there's joint ventures. There's a lot of things that people ask me about, rent to rent and things like that. Do you cover things like that in there, or is it purely just about purchasing properties for investment purposes?
I talk about lots of different strategies in the book, and rent to rent is in there as well. So yeah, lots of different strategies. There are different ways, and not every strategy is right for everyone. Depends on your situation, where you're at, and I talk about that, and I talk about the pros and the cons to each strategy, because each one does come with pros and cons, and it's up to you to sort of pick what is right for you, and you can't be a master of them all. So first of all, focus on one, master that, and only then really should you start switching over to another strategy, in my opinion.
I like that, actually. Focusing on one thing that actually works, because it doesn't all work for everybody else. And I've only stayed within renting and buying and flipping, because that's all I know. I don't know anything about necessarily rent to rent or some of the other ways that are out there. Because I know some people like to build properties for supported living and different things. But I like that you said, look at the pros and cons, pick the one that's right for you and master it. Mastering is very good. I love that. And I just want to touch before I ask you the last question about believing in yourself, because just to go back to it a second, because you said you left school with just one GCSE, and it's very difficult to think, right, here I am, I've left school and I'm working for my father as a labourer. To think your mindset, how do you shift from that to believe that, no, actually, I can do this? Can you just talk a little bit about that? that transition from what you experienced? Just because I think it's important to actually talk about that. It's just something I'm feeling we should talk about.
Yeah, I agree, and I just think it's such an important thing because obviously I left school with 1 GCSE, so the future wasn't probably looking massively bright in some ways, and I was then, working all day, very hard, lifting furniture for a living for relatively low pay, and I was sort of thinking that, this was 17. Wow, this is my life now. But I thought, no, there's got to be a better way. And I just kept on asking questions, speaking to people. And then I really got into personal development and my mindset and building more confidence and belief. And as I kept on focusing on that, and I used to listen to audio tapes as I used to drive around in my car about mindset and belief and having, courage to go for things. And slowly but surely, I just felt myself wanting to push more and try and expand my horizons. And I really feel that was probably more important than all the property strategies, etc. Just believing in myself and going for it, because then I wanted to learn about more different things and constantly evolve into a new person, because, we can all evolve, we can all change. Yeah. And like I say, I was very uneducated, but my real education really started when I left school. And that has been vital for me. And I'm very grateful I got into that, because if I would just carried on doing what I was doing, I'd have a very bad back now and bad knees from lifting furniture all day long.
That is so true. That is so true. And I think in terms of advice, I was going to obviously ask for advice. I think it was good to kind of end on this, because it is so true. You have to believe in yourself and believe you can do that. And you have the ability and tools around you to evolve in your mind, evolve on who you are, and create a new career path for yourself. And it's out there. And this book, especially for those who are interested in property, so you don't go make silly mistakes like I did. And but you can actually change your life for the positive. Any last words from you, Rory? Any sort of advice for anybody who wants to get into it, into property? Any last advice for them?
Yes. So many things. I'd just say start now. Start where you are. Even if you can't afford a property, just get learning. Start reading books. Start educating yourself. Start putting yourself in the right environment where other people are involved with property, and you'll be surprised. Things just start coming your way. The more you put yourself out there, things just come back to you. And educate yourself. And, you'll be amazed with a longer time frame what you can do. Everyone sort of always overestimates what they can do in a month, 6 months, but over a 10-year period, you can literally transform your life. And, speaking to my 17-year-old self, looking back then to now, I would not have thought what I've done would be possible, but it is possible.
It really, really is. And that's a lovely way to end. And I'll say this. We talked about London being extortionate, but guys, if you step outside of that city and look at other cities and look at other opportunities within property in the country, it can make it happen. And I like that you said over a 10-year period, because you talked about obviously investment, how long you have to hold on. It's an investment to hold on to it. And I've seen in my life how property has been the strongest financial investment for me, that has again given me a scope to do what I do now and live where I live now. So as Rory said, start now. Great stuff. So that was the interview. Rory, thank you so much for being on the Mary Moo Show. It was great having you. So once again, everybody, you search for Rory Palmer on Amazon, and the book was Steps to Financial Freedom. Am I correct?
It was Financial Freedom Through Property.
That's it. Financial Freedom Through Property. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the Mary Moo Show. My name's Mary Moo, and I'm here every Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m. So pop me on your diary for next week. Because next week's going to be good, just like this one and the last and the last and the last. For those of you who just tuned in, I'm so sorry for you, because we've missed a really good show. You've missed an interview. We've been talking to Rory Palmer. He is the author of the book Financial Freedom Through Property. And he was able to talk to us about the story behind the book, really, how he was able to get to it, to have a property empire. And I mentioned that I personally know him because sometimes it's good to hear from people who are unreachable and who, well, they can come or seem unreachable, like that person. But when it's somebody you're like, I've seen it with my own two eyes. I've seen it. And I like the question I asked him about going from the changing the mindset from knowing that you only have one GCSE and your future doesn't look great. It looks like you're going to be a labourer all your life, just, hauling furniture around the place, to actually going to build an actual a good career, wealth from property. And people like that, I'm always keen to hear from them. For those of you who just tuned in, for those of you listening, remember I started off with that scripture in Jeremiah 29, where there was an instruction to go out and go and do these things. Dip your toes in the water, take a stride, just try and see if it works. So it might not work for you. There's other things, and trust me, there's other things you can do. This has been quite solid for me. And I'm going to bring in other people as well, actually, on the show who is going to be talking to us about other things and other ways, so we can all grow, we can all improve our lives. And for me, like I said, the reason why I wanted to talk about this, and Rory was the right person at the right time to speak to, because I've seen it, how it's worked in my life. And, so, I said I've given my time to encourage people. And this is no different. This is no different. So I hope you really loved it. And I hope you really you gained something. Go and get the book, guys. This is Financial Freedom Through Property. And I want to plug another podcast that's dropped. It's just gone live. And you need to get onto this. So I don't know if you remember, one of my very first shows, I had a lady called Sister Mac on, and she talked about, her journey from African spirituality and New Age all the way through to understanding and knowing God and being delivered from all of that. Well, my girl has a podcast out. It's just dropped. It's called Yeshua and I, and this is her first one, the first episode, and she's doing so well. Do you remember when we for those of you who listened, when she first came, she had like 40 or something thousand TikTok followers, which is a big deal. Now when I chatted to her the other day, I said, how many now and what have you? She's like, it's over 65, and that was like the other day. And you can see she's really, really doing good. And honestly, she looks good. She's looking good. She is just taking great strides and doing great stuff. See, I like people doing great things. I love it. So get on YouTube, type in Yeshua and I by Sister Mac, because that's what the name she's going by, Sister Mac, and have a listen and really understand, how her journey and sort of interest, because we have really good conversations, guys. So please take a listen. And on Spotify as well, you can, if you listen to your podcast on Spotify, you can find her there. You can also find the Mary Moo Show on there as well. My actual episode with her is on there as well. So have a listen. There's lots to listen to. Okay, so as we bring things to a humble close, it's good to listen to some music, and that will take us out. And next week's going to be good, guys. I've got quite a good lineup. Shall I talk about what we... Shall I spill the beans? Should I... Well, if you follow me on socials, you'll get to know. I'm looking forward to this one, because this is all about, again, so I like these stories, this inspirational stories, somebody who's started one thing or was in something and turned it around. And for those of you who are good at riddles and things like that, think about crime and knives and a box. Crimes, knife and a box. And that's going to be a good one. And also I've got another show that's scheduled that I thought I just sort of dropped for you to listen to. It's all about the modern woman versus the Proverbs 31 woman. And if you listen to the last show, you know I alluded to it. That one's coming, and that one's going to be fire, because we've got a theologian on board to kind of help us put things in perspective, so we can understand. Are we really measuring up, or are we learning? Are we learning for something we read all the time? So listen to the music. This one's good. I love this one. I love all the music. But for King and Country, great brothers. For King and Country, Love Me Like I Am. That's a good one, and something we still have to listen to. And we're going to go with Esso, Quest for Love, and then we're going to end with Sharon with Enough. Till next time, pop me in the calendar for next week. See you. This is for King and Country, Love Me Like I Am.
I am a little unstable, loose wires, always getting tangled now. I am a little bit difficult, a little self-critical now. I am a little unable to put all my cards on the table now. But somehow you're still with me. It's amazing that you care, love me like I am. And even when I can't, you still love me as I am. Oh, I don't know how you do it, and I know I put you through it. Yeah, it's amazing that you care, love me like I, love me like I.
She wanted much loving in her life, but that's found in Christ. But patience she wouldn't know. She telling me she need it right now. Friends won't pipe down, but tell her which way to go. Find a man who's good with the loot, hard on the street and let it do what it do. But if she partner with he, then she move with the crew. She sure she's secure, but the truth is she lose. Why? Cause he ain't rooted in the vine, and he ain't even looking just to strive to the narrow. No thought about the father, just current apparel, and loving other honeys too. Go and make that money move. And I know it's not love, but she thinks so. That's why I write this verse, let it ink slow. Cheap hope, what she know, that's the worst bid. Cause somebody tell her what love is.
Search again, trying to find a way to make it work again. Looking for brighter days, I wish they told me there's no love. Here I was wrong, trying to find my way. Tell me where love is at again. I need to know where love is, cause I'm on a quest for love. I need to know where love is. That's where I belong. I need to know where love is, yeah. Please don't get me wrong. I need to know where love is.
He wanted much loving in his life, but that's found in Christ. But patience he wouldn't know. He telling me he need it right now. Friends won't pipe down, but tell him which way to go. Find a girl who make you feel good, as real women should. She's giving up her goods. If she could do everything you say and make you feel great, then little homie you straight. But the fact is he isn't, cause she ain't even Christian or care about the way. Just hide behind religion and waste away her days, nothing based on holy living. And that is what the truth is. Why would he do this? And I know it's not love, but he thinks so. That's why I write this verse, let it ink slow. Cheap hope, what he know, that's the worst bid. Cause somebody tell him what love is.
Search again, trying to find a way to make it work again. Looking for brighter days, I wish they told me there's no love. Here I was wrong, trying to find my way. Tell me where love is at again. I need to know where love is, cause I'm on a quest for love. I need to know where love is. That's where I belong. I need to know where love is.
love. Give me the fine truth. I was trying to find love, but wrongly in my suit. Was hanging with the ravens, but trying to find doves. Stories that are ancient, but they still define us. Waiting, man, I was till I saw what I thought was real. Now I know how awkward feel. I deal cautious still, and never would have thought that my thoughts would spill. Having talks with Will, I say I feel the same as the two that I know. Let it brew inside. I can feel a suicide note. Gotta choose a side. Don't you see the slew of cyclones? I'm moving slide. That is not the movement I chose. And now I know it's not love, but I think so. That's why I write this verse, let it ink slow. Cheap hope, what I know, that's the worst bid. Can somebody tell me what love is?
Search again, trying to find a way to make it work again. Looking for brighter days, I wish they told me there's no love. Here I was wrong, trying to find my way. Tell me where love is at again. I need to know where love is, 'cause I'm on a quest for love. I need to know where love is. That's where I belong. I need to know where love is, yeah. Please don't get me wrong. I need to know where love is.
When I feel I'm not good enough, I look to you, I look to my God above. When my insecurities try to break me down, I look to you, my fortress. When I feel like not getting up, I look to you, I look to the Lord of love. When my fears like gravity try to bring me down, I look to you, my portion. I'm more than enough, in God I can trust. I know through the ups and downs you care for me. Your love is enough, nothing can separate us. I know through the ups and downs you care for me. Your love is enough for me. Your love is enough. Your love is enough for me. When I feel I'm not moving forward, I look to you, the rock where my hope is found. When all my depravities try to bring me down, I look to you, my Father. I'm more than enough, in God I can trust. I know through the ups and downs you care for me. Your love is enough, nothing can separate us. I know through the ups and downs you care for me. I'm more than enough, in God I can trust. I know through the ups and downs you care for me. Your love is enough, nothing can separate us. I know through the ups and downs you care for me. Your love is enough for me. Your love is enough. Your love is enough for me. Enough, 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 enough. 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 Enough, 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 Lord, you provide my daily supply. Your grace is enough for me. I will rejoice, I lift up my voice, I will smoke gladly in my weakness. Cause your love is all I need. It's enough for me. Your love is enough for me. Lord, you provide my daily supply. Your grace is enough for me. I will rejoice, I'll lift up my voice, I will smoke gladly in my